Thousands of people have queued outside various vaccination centres countrywide today. This as healthcare workers rush to get their jabs before Phase 2 rolls out on Monday. Now, the DA in Gauteng is concerned about the chaos at the Charlotte Maxeke Hospital Vaccination Centre. The party's Jack Bloom joins us now live. Jack, thanks for your time. So take us through your concerns. Did you visit the site? What did you find?
Well, I visited there earlier this week, and I could really see that there was quite a long queue. And just over the yesterday and certainly today, there's actually very long queues, and there seems to be a lot of confusion. People are arriving without appointments, and that's problematic. And people with appointments are being turned away. They say they won't be able to complete it. So I'm very concerned that the system appears to be breaking down. They do have to use up all the vaccines for the Sisonke J&J vaccine trial. But I really thought that it'd be a bit more organized, and it makes me very worried about what's going to happen next week. Next week we're going to be doing elderly people, and we can't have a situation where they queue for hours in the cold. I hope that it's much more prepared and ready and smoothly running when we do for the broader rollout.
Yeah, what's interesting is that the province is saying that it will be ready come Monday, despite the challenges it's seeing right now. The Health Minister, just addressing Parliament, also saying that he's confident that things will be right come Monday.
Well, I'd like to believe that, but I have visited some of the vaccination sites, and they didn't look ready at all. What I do hear is that they are going to concentrate next week on the institutions, old age homes, which does make sense. But, we were promised that there would be a broad rollout for all over 60s, obviously those who have appointments, from Monday next week. And certainly I don't think we have time to spare. We could be facing a third wave, and we should just vaccinate as many people as possible, but do it efficiently. So I'd like to see everything running as soon as possible next week. Yes, we must do the institutions, but we should also roll out at all the vaccination centres. And from what I've seen, I'm not sure that they are ready. Remember, they're going to be using the Pfizer vaccine, which needs a lower temperature storage than the J&J vaccine. So we need to see if they can roll this vaccine out efficiently without any mishaps.
Yeah, and have you raised any of these concerns with officials?
Well, yes, we had a health committee of the Gauteng Legislature this morning, and I did raise these issues. They claim to be on top of the issue, but I'm afraid I do have my doubts. The DA has visited a number of these vaccination sites, and we're collecting information, and we're going to be monitoring it next week. We really have to get this right. I can't stress this enough. We really have to ramp up the number of people who are being vaccinated. And the problem to me is that we're encountering problems with the more limited registration for healthcare workers. What's going to happen when we roll it out?
Yeah, and speaking to some of the people in the queues today, we know that there's a last-minute rush for healthcare workers to actually get vaccinated. The Health Minister now confirming to Parliament that healthcare workers will still be inoculated from next week. What were they telling you?
Well, look, it's a lot of confusion. People that I've spoken to say that they were told they had a certificate, they got it on their cell phone, they had an appointment time, and they arrived and they weren't able to be seen. They were told, come back the next day. And look, I think there's some queue jumping, but also what seems to have happened is that some over 60s have accidentally or otherwise marked themselves down as a health worker, and they were told to come. So I think they've got to tighten the system. I think we can't have a situation with long queues. If there's an appointment system, you're told to come at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then that's when you should be done. There's also an infection risk if people queue for long times next to each other. And we can't do this to elderly, vulnerable people. So I hope we are geared up. But the main thing to me is we've got to expand the number of vaccination sites. I think that's why we're encountering problems with the present Sisonke problem. You know, there's not that many sites around Gauteng and around the country, and we need to get the private sector involved, and they're also saying that they're gearing up for it. I think that will help in a big way, but I think we just have to be way more organized, because we're going to have to do, you know, thousands and thousands of people every day. And with the Pfizer vaccine, you've got to have a double vaccine. So you've got to come back in a month's time, and we've got to get all that right as well. So we've got to have accurate records too.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thanks for that. The DA's Jack Bloom.